the system.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Season 8, Episode 4 of the phenomenon known to mankind on God's green earth as Saturday afternoon main event. If you do not know who I am, whether you are dumb, stupid, blind, or just plain irrelevant, I suggest you go back to school, go into your local library, get the biggest dictionary you can find, preferably Merriam-Webster, and look me up under the word phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the phenomenal one, and here on Same, I'm not alone. I'm joined by my co-host. Yes, I can say it nonchalantly now, because my co-host is none other than my limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun, who's not having a hard time holding his alligators down. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, give me 2 claps for the deep voice dynamo, the one and only Pete Nate.
Woo! That's right. Once again, another great Saturday, giving you those 3 tenets of a great Saturday afternoon: laughs, good times, and all of the wrestling news possible. There you go.
Of course. Well, with that being said, we have another co-host joining us. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I always tell you this. If you need a rant, you need some dark humor. You need a sense of reflection. You need a sense to go ahead and get your head out of your anus and begin to act like a normal person. Then just get on your phone and dial the numbers. 411. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of Morton's Law, Mr. Christopher Morton, Mr. 411.
I love that introduction. It was incredible. I'm over here laughing. By the way, hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Why did I get the feeling he was going to do that? Oh, man. But this is great. Well, look, with that being said, guys, look, we appreciate you guys going ahead and tuning in, whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram Live. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate the following. Look, guys, if you want to keep up with all the latest social media news and updates that come from Saturday Afternoon Main Event, all you got to do is one thing only. Follow us on Instagram at Saturday Afternoon_main event, or follow us on Twitter at Saturday Main. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just slow our rolls and get into today's show. But of course, You know that when you hear this, it's time for one thing and one thing only. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for
Wrestling Crash Course.
Yo, how's Peeps doing? Peeps, oh God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Aneurysm, brain area. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, look, first topic of news today, guys. It was a slow news week. Don't go ahead and don't toot your own horn. Don't get mad at me or nothing like that. But look, first piece of news: Matt Cardona wants to go back to WWE. Insane, right? Crazy. Yeah, who would have thought? But of course, listen, you never say never in the world of professional wrestling. If Ultimate Warrior can be cool with Vince McMahon, if Hulk Hogan be cool, it can be cool with Vince McMahon. If CM Punk can go ahead and defy the odds being cool with Triple H. If Bret Hart can at least forgive Shawn Michaels, then I guess in the world of professional wrestling, never say never indeed. But look, with this being said, Matt Cardona wants to go back to WWE. He said on an interview that, look, Matt Cardona is my stronghold. I don't want to go back to WWE as Zack Ryder because, yes, I appreciate Zack Ryder, appreciate all the things that I did with Zack Ryder, but everything that happened from leaving to recreating myself and getting back there now is what makes Matt Cardona. And that's how I want to go back. Now, look, peeps, this being said, I mean, we've seen it happen with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Leave, reinvents himself, become big in the indies, and then somehow, some way go ahead and make it back to the WWE. I'm not saying that it's not possible, because we know that he can go ahead and go back there at any given moment. Who knows? Royal Rumble, Indianapolis, February 2nd, make an appearance, whatever the case may be, find out he's back. What I'm trying to say is, does Matt Cardona win the big one? That's what I want to know. What are your thoughts, Steve?
It depends on what he looks at as the big one, if that was the case. Could we see him go in there and being a disruptor? Well, of course. I mean, he was a disruptor when he was there with that woo, 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 and all the other stuff that he was doing there. That is now gone. He got himself over outside of the WWE, which got him in a little bit of trouble, but at the same time helped his brand out, got him a little bit of notoriety, got him his WrestleMania moment when he won the IC title in that ladder match, only for it to fall apart a number of weeks later. So, yeah, as a brand, he's made his name outside of WWE and the independent promotion. He's toured around. He's been in a lot of different places. And I think it would definitely work for his brand as Matt Cardona. Imagine some of the matches that he could have with the wrestlers that are on the roster and with the current push of who's running WWE right now. It would be fresh. I could see him going to NXT and then being a disruptor there, maybe moving up to the main roster, maybe on SmackDown or doing something like that. So yeah, I could see him doing something on the main roster. As far as winning the big one, I don't know if it'd go that far, but I could see him being a disruptor.
Okay. Chris, how do you feel about the whole thing?
He may be his own worst enemy. If you're privy to the story of his meeting with Tony Khan, they shed some light on it, not too much though, in terms of him saying what he wants to do and what his plans are. And obviously Cody was involved in that meeting because they're best friends. And it just sounds like he's the kind of guy who's he thinks highly of himself, which is not wrong. I mean, you want to have self-confidence, but then there's being realistic and unrealistic in terms of what a promoter might think of you. And that's the key here in him going back. What does Triple H think of him? So all of his work, whether it's in TNA or GCW, as he's now called himself, the king of the death match? I mean, you know what I mean? This guy,
King, indie god, whatever you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, when you say getting over in front of hundreds of people, not thousands of people, so does it mean it's going to translate to the main roster in front of tens of thousands of people now? WWE draws every week in their attendance, which is they're setting records right now. It's incredible what they're doing, and we don't know how those fans will react to him. Is he good in the ring? He's okay. I mean, I don't know. And the whole Matt Cardona versus Zack Ryder thing, I'm sure Triple H would let him have that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Triple H doesn't seem to be like Vince. So, again, can he get over? That's what we'll see on in terms of the bigger audience.
I could see them doing what they did for Ethan Page in NXT, doing that with Matt Cardona, showing up in NXT, disrupting some of the things there, doing something to get his brand over even more so, and then using it to dump on the persona that he helped create to get over Matt Cardona and see where they go from there. Could they pair him with somebody down the road, maybe at some point if he was to move up to the main roster, if that's what they were going to do with him? They could probably do something like that.
But I wanted to revisit the whole Tony Khan thing. I mean, think about it. Tony Khan loves almost everybody. Anybody that comes into AEW, Tony Khan wants to get him a job. When Matt Cardona arrived in AEW alongside of Cody Rhodes as his best friend, you automatically thought, like, wow, Cardona's going to have an incredible run here. He's going to win multiple titles. And then he vanished. And then the meeting of what happened surfaced, of what he said to Tony Khan. And Tony Khan didn't like this guy clearly and just let him go. I mean, that says a lot about the person. If Tony Khan doesn't like you, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I got a point there because Tony loves everybody.
He honestly has a point. Yeah, because he'll go ahead and get some marking out over you go ahead and put you on the biggest main event of one of his pay-per-views, and then at the press conference is gonna hug you and start crying.
Yeah.
Probably go ahead and have a full-fledged orgasm, but the fact that it didn't happen with Matt Cardona speaks volumes. But you know what? Time heals all, right? So we'll see what happens within the next coming of months, maybe years. We never know when it's gonna happen, but eventually maybe so. But we'll see what happens when it comes to Matt Cardona. When it comes to the world of All Elite Wrestling, though, we can speak on something different. Ricochet has signed with All Elite Wrestling. Tony Khan is about to go ahead and let loose over. Yo, listen, I'm gonna say this. Sperm banks are not going to be able to hold what Tony Khan is about to let out into the universe. That's all I'm gonna say. Him and Meltzer. This is going to be some type of weird festival in which we will never go. This will be worse than the apocalypse. Let's put it like this. The fact of the matter is that now we're going to be getting matches like Ospreay and Ricochet, Ospreay and Swerve, like Ricochet and Hologram, for God's sakes.
Right on Collision, right? Yeah.
The stuff we see like this, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, it's great. I'm happy for him. I'm more happy that I get to go ahead and, run game on Samantha Irving now in peace, so that works for me.
You got to shoot your shot, right?
Exactly. All I got to do is walk up there and be like, yo, why your husband bald? Like, come on. Like, I ain't got to do too much.
Sliding into DMs.
You're damn right, Chris. You're damn right. But jokes aside, this is great for Ricochet, I would say. Within the sense of him being look. As crazy as it sounds, Chris, I know. But look, he gets to put on banger matches with his buddies. And the problem is never the wrestling when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. Let's be for real. The flippities, yeah, I get it. The crazy SIA DDT moonsaults that they can't cut out one at. I understand. But look, he gets to do what he does best with his friends. Let him be.
For how long? For how long?
We'll find out.
You know what I mean by that? I'm going to just take over. If you don't mind, I can jump in with that.
Sure.
Okay, so I tweeted about, people were talking about Ricochet in AEW, and I said, okay, well, how long will it last? Because with the match that he will have planned with Ospreay and the aforementioned names, someone's going to get hurt. It's just bound to happen. He's going to get hurt. Listen, WWE has done a great job with him in terms of slowing him down in certain matches. Some guys will work with him, and he's so good in the ring when they slow him down and still let him have his spots. I'm not saying you can't have spots in the match. No, of course you can. But when the spots are done over and over again, what happens? They lose their luster. They become common instead of something that's amazing and often seen. And that's the problem with AEW as a whole. You see the same crazy spots over and over again to where they don't mean as much anymore. And that's what's going to happen here. And God forbid, I don't want him. Obviously, no one wants him to get hurt. But if you continually do those spots, it's bound to happen. Look at their roster. Everyone gets hurt.
Yeah, look at Dante Martin, who's gone through a ton of injuries because of that same kind of style.
That's the truth.
Which I would not be surprised would be Ricochet's first match, too. So, let's see.
Is Dante healthy? I don't even know.
He actually is healthy, go figure, but I understand your point.
After a match with Ricochet, he's ending up with a broken freaking neck. I'll just say that.
Oh, good grief.
Just
no more Canadian destroyers through tables. None of that stuff, please.
Yo, off of literally off of the top rope.
Oh,
how much is that's a great question. How much more did Tony pay him than WWE offered him? And did WWE actually try to re-sign him, or did he just say he wanted to go and there was no money that they could match? Does anyone know that?
I don't know. It seems like he just wanted to be.
He wanted out. Like they gave him a contract. He just didn't want to sign it. He didn't sign it. He was just like, yo, look, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna let it hold out. And once my deal is up, my deal is up. And guess he told him, look, I'm leaving. I'm gonna be going over here. Write me off in a way that wouldn't go ahead and seem as if like I was just off TV. Like, write me off in the sense that, look, Like I'm done. Like I'm legitimately done.
Yeah. Well, the Bronson Reed beatdown was kind of the beginning of the Bronson Reed push as we know it. But at the same time, I just think Ricochet wanted to play in a different sandbox, have different opponents, different kinds of matches, and then kind of see where he's going while at the same time getting paid a heck of a lot of money. So I think you can't fault him for that. You just hope that where he's going will kind of know how to use him in the right light.
I mean, what I want to know, does anybody know what the ballpark figure is of him going ahead and signing? Because I know it's multi-year, but I don't know like what the price tag is. Like, did Tony like break the bank for real? Is it? Within,
I would assume he was getting at least $1 million per.
Is there a website? There's got to be a website with wrestling contracts. There should be, because there is one for sports.
I mean, yeah, I know that, but it's like they barely go ahead and speak on like whatever like the contracts may be when it comes to certain people. So it's like that's why I'm trying to go ahead and figure out, okay, what could it have been? Because it's big. I mean, listen, if it's literally like $1 million per, damn it, yo, guys, we're in the wrong profession because I'm starting to rethink.
Nate and I are too old. You can actually still be a wrestler, so you can start training now. And you can make it.
You guys can be managers. Come on, look, it wouldn't be bad being managers. Like,
yeah, but I would have to make amends with Mr. Khan because I've already abused him on Twitter.
Who said
didn't he block you or something?
No. Jericho did.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about Jericho later.
I mean, of course, Jericho did that piece of. You know what? I digress.
There you go.
This is the first one.
There's the first one. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh, man. But also moving in the world of AEW, we hope the best for Ricochet. But when it comes to AEW and London, it seems like this is going to be a recurring thing. But not for All In, but of course just for London itself. AEW and New Japan Forbidden Door going to London in 2025. We are not sure if it's going to happen at the O2. We're not sure if it's Wembley. We're not sure if it's London Stadium at Queen Elizabeth Park. We're not sure where it's going. But the fact of the matter is that they've been putting out the banners around Wembley that AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door is going to be in that city next year. So look, here's the thing. With now knowing that All In is going to Texas next year and, you know, WrestleMania is trying to go to Wembley, you got different promotions within the sense just trying to move all over the world when it comes to professional wrestling. Is this going to be a success if it hits up Wembley? Because, of course, we know that there are about, 50-something thousand tickets sold just for tomorrow?
I believe they're at 48,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. They still had at least 3,000 or 4,000 seats available ticket-wise. So they can probably give those away or do something between now and tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey, Rich, not to change topics because it's along the same lines, but what's that whole thing with Taylor Swift and the seating setup? I know you had sent us that last night. If you could expound on that.
He pisses me off. Okay. Let me go ahead and let me make it straight.
Rant.
No, I can't do it. This is time for your rants. Okay, I'll keep it a buck. Of course, for the past couple of months, we've been hearing that, AEW is setting the blame of all-in ticket sales on Taylor Swift. Poor Taylor Swift. Can't she just get greased by Travis Kelce in peace? The fact of the matter is this. They say, since Taylor had a concert at Wembley a couple of days prior to All In, they won't be able to break down the stage. Without being able to break down the stage, they're going to go ahead and have to use some of the remnants of Taylor Swift's stage to go ahead and fix up the seating chart and whatever the case may be when it comes down to All In, which is why they had to close off a bunch of seats, which is why they had to go ahead and at least remove some type of seating and at least limit it down to about 55,000. That's what was said. Now look at it this way, guys. They go ahead and they leak a video of All In construction of the stage happening within the week. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have friends who have girlfriends that have been to Taylor Swift concerts. I know what the stage looks like. it goes like closer to like seating. The ramp goes straight out into what we would go ahead and know as the 50-yard line at a football stadium, or the midway line at just a regular soccer stadium. That's literally where the canopy would be, right, peeps? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so why in the blue hell am I sitting here looking at this video and I see that there is no ramp that goes straight down the midfield? I don't see a stage that looks as if it's Taylor Swift's stage. This is 100% All Elite Wrestling original production. If you couldn't just sell out the tickets, keep it $150 and say that you couldn't sell out the tickets. Because if we're being for real here, they announced that All In was taking place this year since last year, immediately after the event was over. Am I
Actually,
wrong?
they announced it the same date. Remember, during the show, they announced that they were coming back to London the following year.
Okay.
Yeah, right around the time Punk had Perry in a front face lock backstage.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Which is also the 1-year anniversary of that. So congratulations, CM Punk. But look, the fact of the matter is this. You tell me that we've known about this for a full-on year. And when they first announced All in Wembley, within a good couple of months, what was it at? They sold about 45,000 tickets?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah. And then the ticket sales slowed.
And then it takes a full year for you to sell out for 55K.
There you go.
Break.
I love this version of Rick. Yeah.
Come on. Like, are you kidding me? If you guys just can't sell, just say you can't sell. Don't go ahead and start creating lies, because guess what? Taylor Swift fans are literal cucks. They will go after you if needed be.
Oh, yeah, they're vicious.
Yes.
Once they find out, hey, you speaking bad on Taylor Swift? Listen, Tony, you get in the horns. But that's besides the point. The fact that me as a wrestling fan is telling you, look, you didn't have to lie. You're still doing big. If you're selling 55,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium for an event, amazing. That's great. But don't sit here and lie about it and then continue to be like, oh yeah, guys, it's Taylor's fault. It's Taylor's fault. I hate the Swift.
I'm fibbing, guys. That's all. Here's the fairy dust. Bye.
The truth about her fans is they used to have mad love, and now they have bad blood. So
Wow.
Look at Chris, man. I didn't know you listened to Taylor. Look at you.
He's our CM Punk, if you get the gist.
Listen, I'm a Swiftie vicariously through other people that I know.
Okay.
That's amazing. That's a W. That's a W. Well, look, in that sense, yeah. Look, they sell out 50,000 next year for Forbidden Door at a Wembley Stadium. I'm not mad at it, but just please don't create excuses as to why you guys can't go ahead and sell out. Please, just
so at this show we're going to get next year, are we going to get Jericho and Suzuki again to have 50,000 chops? Let's have that match.
Ooh.
We should have got. You know what would have been the ultimate snooze fest? Had he still been in New Japan? Chris Jericho versus Tonga Loa. Can you just imagine? Can you just imagine the calamity?
I can't.
How about the chant last night on SmackDown? As Jacob Fatu gives Tonga Loa the belt, and they start chanting, "You can't wrestle."
Yes. Oh man.
I love professional wrestling.
Yes, the fans. Yes, what a concept.
But to be fair, though, Tonga Loa had a decent showing on SmackDown. I don't think there were any botches.
I think that's the best he's looked so far since he's been in the company. So.
Yes, by far. I mean, he beat the allegations just for last night. I still have to see some more progress. But look,
he's been a professional wrestler for 15 years. I'm sure everyone has botches who's wrestled for 15 years.
Yeah.
Look.
Good match.
Of course. But I'm just sitting here like, look, Chris, this is Camacho we're talking about. Remember, riding down on a bicycle, Camacho. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, son of how cool, amazing, great. Amazing bloodline. All I'm saying is that how the hell do you miss a turnbuckle? How do you botch a low blow?
Okay.
I mean,
I guess there's some things that people won't live down.
So right now we're a part of the 2024 Tonga Loa Redemption Tour. Okay, he's gonna redeem his name.
Amazing, just amazing.
Yes. Meanwhile, Jacob Fatu is super kicking guys in the face with a boot on. This dude is special. Oh, good grief!
Equivalent to Bob
Yes.
Orton to the cast.
He's doing Bob Orton. He's doing Iron Mike Sharp with the busted forearm and the wrap around his arm all the time. And yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Are we even going to talk about the actual show itself? I mean, I don't know. I'm burned out by seeing New Japan against AEW. I don't care anymore. I don't think a lot of people care.
I mean, it benefits AEW more than it benefits New Japan. I mean, are we honestly going to go ahead and like, honestly speaking, look, Dream Match is great. But it's like now, are there really enough dream matches that I'm gonna go ahead and sit there?
There's no more left.
Like Tony Khan literally ransacked all of New Japan to go straight to AEW. The only person New Japan liably has is Zack Sabre Jr. And with Bryan Danielson potentially retiring this year, who the hell is Zack Sabre Jr. gonna? Well, yeah, Will Ospreay. You think I need technical wrestlers going against technical wrestlers?
Yes.
What the hell? Tony Khan, I really knew the day that you were conceived. I kid you not. I digress.
There you go.
You know what? Let's direct our hate from AEW and Tony Khan straight to another person, because I can actually hate this person liably. Hulk Hogan biopic no longer happening, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Ooh, boy.
That works for me, brother. So, look at it.
Apparently didn't work for Netflix, brother.
It's funny because I sit there and I'm like, okay, Hogan, great. He was supposed to get a biopic. Okay, cool. Chris Hemsworth was supposed to play him. Okay, that's another crazy thing. Whatever. We'll see how this pans out. Turns out we're just not getting it. They clipped up the project and they said, screw it. It's done with. I was like, okay, you know what? Hey, I'm mad at it. After seeing what I saw at the RNC, after seeing what I saw, just with him at like a regular nightclub, I'd be good grief. Hogan.
Yes. Think about that. Just think about that. Promoting at his beer, I guess it was his beer promotion stuff that he was doing. Not only did he get racist there, he then threw a beer, or somebody in his party threw a beer and it hit a woman in the eye and she ended up having 9 stitches. She got busted the hard way at a place in his that he was doing promotion for. Go figure.
But I mean, peeps, you know what? Here's the good thing, and I know Chris is going to get a good laugh at this. It's a win for Black America this week. Blair Davenport took a loss, and Hogan's not getting his biopic. How amazing.
Yeah.
Look, one win for the good guys.
Yes. Just remember, pat on the back, 18 inches away from a kick in the butt. So there you go.
Exactly right.
All right, wait. So you said a woman got hit in the eye with something?
Yup.
Yeah, a beer can that Hogan had at the press junket that he was doing at the nightclub where he started to spew his nonsense. And then I guess I don't know if the beer was full or not, but it was chucked in the crowd and hit a woman in the eye. And she ended up going to the hospital to get 9 stitches over her eye.
I have a serious question to ask. What did she do to deserve that?
Well, there's your answer. There's absolutely nothing.
Hold on. I gotta try to mimic it.
Well, no, I'm saying she's a woman, so she probably did something to deserve it.
Oh, just by being there.
Waiting for it.
That's right.
She's on delay over there.
Yeah.
Because it took some time for me to actually calculate what he was meaning by that. So I'm sitting there like, wait, let me try to. Now you just clarified.
The Triple C approves that message.
I love you guys. I honestly do.
Man.
Sheesh. Wow. Oh man. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of Wrestling Crash Course. If you guys want to keep up with all the news, like I said, all you got to do is one thing and one thing only. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter. Of course, Instagram Saturday Afternoons _main event. Twitter being Saturday Main. It is now time for that one part of today's show where we do have a good rant to go ahead and go off it. Of course, when you go ahead and, I'm gonna have to go ahead and play the crickets. This makes more sense to go ahead and play. But look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have somebody here who has something to say. And it's Mr. 411. So look, I'm gonna let you go ahead and rock. I'm gonna let you do what you do. It's now time for Morton's Law of Rants. Chris, take it away, man.
Well, if you would be so kind to queue up, I know you put it in the text chat in terms of JR this weekend, what it was said about JR. People saying that, oh, well, he looks really old and all this other stuff. And then he happened to come out and say, do you have that available to us right now? Or is that something that might take time?
The video itself?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and you know what? You can get into the other one. I'll go ahead and screen share the tweet, and then we can get into the JR stuff. Like I'll go ahead and upload it right now.
All right, sounds good. So I mean, listen, JR, without question, one of the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about it. We know that. A lot of years in the business, amazing career, Mid-South, UWF, WCW, WWF. However, listen. We know he's had horrible health issues, no question about it. He's had some bad luck along the way. But when people come out and say you sound old, and then we're going to get to the quote in a second, I mean, listen, it's time to go. It's just time to go. And we talk about legacies. We talk about Chris Jericho and what he's doing to his legacy currently. I think if you stay around too long, you can taint your legacy. And that's what JR is doing right now. Jim Ross, the interview he had with Swerve Strickland, you can't look worse or sound worse. And despite all those health issues that he's had, it doesn't mean you still have to be on television. It's sad. It's sad what he looks like. It's sad what he sounds like. I don't want to remember this JR. Look, other people age gracefully. He has not. And I'm sorry to say that. It just hasn't gone well for him. And the fact that he's on TV at all, it's bothersome. Do you have that yet or no?
No, it's not uploading.
Okay, so they said he looks old, and he said, that's because I am fucking old. Well, yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to see him anymore. And it's time to go. It's time to go. I'm sorry, Jim Ross. It's time to go. And furthermore, listen, this is a different rant, by the way. He's a cigarette smoker, and he still smokes cigarettes to this day on his podcast, despite what health he's in. And I despise cigarette smokers for two reasons. One, it's an awful smell. I don't want to be around it. You're giving me secondhand smoke and potential cancer. If you want to kill yourself, fine. That's on you. But the other reason is, think about your family. There'll be a point in your life, and not everyone gets cancer from cigarette smoking. I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, where your family is going to now have to bury you. And everyone's going to have to feel sorry for you because you smoke cigarettes. Why do I have to feel sorry for you if you smoke cigarettes? That was your choice. You knew the warnings. You knew the results of what could happen. And you still did it. So now everyone is sad because of your choices. That's just horrible to put your family through that, is what I think.
He has been going out the deep end since, like, his wife did pass. I mean, it's a tough case to see. But it's one thing to like, I would say, go back in a position where it's just like, look, you don't have to continue doing this. Like, the stress of having to go ahead and deal with, going into cancer checkups, making sure that you go ahead and remove like any like malignant or benign tumors within your body, having to go ahead and go back just to go ahead and do commentary at a wrestling company when commentary from Jim Ross is just not the same anymore. It's just horrible. Not. It's not. I can't stress it enough when I sit there and I'm listening to Jim Ross and I'm like, look, Tony Schiavone's still Tony Schiavone, but I mean, Jim, where's like the Triple H, you son of a why Triple H?
He can't do it anymore. He just can't.
Yeah,
he can't. It's not the same. It's not the same enthusiastic good old JR that I'm used to.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like at the age you are now, with all the stuff that you've gone through, I already thank God that you're still alive. That's a plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't run yourself into the ground. Stay home. Relax. Yeah. Live off of retirement.
Yeah. I mean,
enjoy yourself. You got kids.
Does he need the money? I hope he doesn't need the money. That would be even more sad if he needed the money.
I don't think it has anything to do with money. I just think partially where he is in life. We talked about it before. He lost his wife within the last couple of years. We know he's gone through skin cancer and cancer treatments. He's shown and documented the injuries that he had with the foot that wasn't healing as well. He's a diabetic, and he's also, like you said, a cigarette smoker. I, just like Chris, detest cigarette smoking. I've lost family members over, those things that have happened as complications due to people that smoke cigarettes. So yes, one of those things actually does happen. But when you see somebody that has the reverence of Jim Ross to be able to call a match, even his first year in AEW, he was calling really good matches up to a point. I think a lot of people look at it as JR, not to say to just go away per se, but he's toned it down a lot. I mean, we barely even really see him anymore. But because of his health issues and all of the other things that he's gone through, I think a lot of people have looked at it as the legacy, where you're going. And in all reality, is this the last memory that we want to have of you? Because most people will remember that memory. The most recent memory of a particular person is the last one you saw. If the most recent one that you saw was the interview with Swerve, is that how you want to remember JR?
Oh, it was so no one can dispute how bad that was.
Yes. So that's where it gets to the point where should he have the mic taken away from him the same way people say, well, after you get a certain age, just take away the keys from the car so you don't drive anymore. It save you from yourself, kind of thing. He's not there yet, but I think a lot of people are concerned based on the cosmetics, the optics, how people think of it, and just how they want to remember JR. I think that's where it's gone.
It's to the point now where I'm not even concerned. I just want his face off my television. I know that sounds horrible, but I don't want to see the man anymore. I don't want to hear the man anymore. And if he's that selfish that he wants to be on TV for whatever spotlight is left, well, then I'm going to have my opinion. And I think there's a lot of other people out there who share my opinion. I'm no longer in the vast minority. It's time to walk away. Everyone has to walk away at some point.
That's true. Well, look, in that sense, we go from one rant to another. Chris, what else is on your mind, man?
Well, if you have can you share the screen of my tweet?
Yeah, no problem. I got you, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Oh, jeez.
So here, if you see this tweet, this is to Chris Jericho and Tony Khan. If you were in WWE and were presented with the learning tree, you're telling me you wouldn't consider it bad creative? Go back home, save your legacy. Time to bring back the list. Now, I mean, are we wrong? Am I wrong here? Am I wrong? Remember early on in AEW when they had Jake Hager come out and they talked about what was his past creative is Jack Swagger, right? And he said, "Oh, that was just bad creative." And
yes.
So why would he think, Jericho, that this is, unless the whole thing is a gag, right? We're all being worked, and that they want to make this as bad as possible. And that might be the case. Who the hell knows? Just to make fun of, because we know Cornette and other people are on Jericho and all his other things. So unless they're trying to do that, this isn't bad creative, guys. Come on.
I mean, why would you go into a work for this, knowing that it's going to potentially lose you a lot within the demographic around the time that he comes on your television screen? Because I can promise you, if we look at ratings and we look at the moment Chris Jericho pops up on your TV screen, you're changing the channel. It's fact.
But if you believe Jericho, he's the one that says that his segments are some of the highest that's on television when he comes on.
Well, it was last night.
Just the wrong company, guys.
How great was it that out of nowhere last night they're doing a Kevin Owens package?
Listen,
and
that
Jericho pops up on the TV.
No, that honestly got me.
I wasn't expecting that.
I was like, they'll show Sami Zayn. They'll go ahead and show Kofi. That's real. And instantly it was just like, oh, Exhibit C, Chris Jericho. I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
Wait.
My tweet was, it was the first time he's been on a television show with ratings since 2017. So now he can go back to claiming he's the demo god, because whatever quarter hour number that was, he actually had a play in that rating.
And it was to start off the show. So look, hey, Chris Jericho, come home. We miss you. You'll do good here. Listen, everybody loves you over here. Not
Yes.
like everybody loves the Acclaim, but everybody just loves Chris Jericho. Not
Oh, good grief.
H, what was your line about him being back on WWE television and saying something about Nick Khan? You just made the list and then going, oh, wrong Khan.
Yes. Yeah. I tell you, it's crazy if they were to do something like that, put it on TV, and then go ahead and spoof that. But yeah, Jericho right now has done literally in the last year more harm to not just his overall legacy. I'm just talking about his AEW legacy, because his first year or two in AEW, he was riding high. First AEW world champion, started the Inner Circle, was getting guys over, was doing pretty much what a lot of people thought he was doing, which was reinventing himself yet again. And then it's like he's kind of held on to changing and changing and changing. And true, you have to evolve, but remember the Wizard when he was throwing fireballs at people all the time, and I forgot he's going through at least 5 or 6 different gimmicks since he's been in AEW, since he lost the AEW world title. At some point,
chanting, "Please retire." They did it again on Dynamite. Please retire.
Yes. Yeah, and he's using it to his advantage to try and say, "No, I don't need to do that." And that's what heels are supposed to do. They're supposed to do that. But it's bad. It's really bad.
So to my next rant, if you will. So I noticed the difference in how it's shot. So I had tweeted to Tony Khan again saying, you need to stop showing wrestlers outside the ring ready to catch the guy jumping from the top rope, because the camera's on them. Like, for instance, on this past Dynamite, both Bucks were outside the ring, and I think it was Darby that was jumping from the top onto them. And you see the two of them, and then they shoot the camera to where it moves, to where then you see Darby in the screen with the Bucks still waiting to catch him, which is terrible. It's horrible production. We should never see guys standing there. And here's the difference. I caught it last night. WWE on SmackDown. The difference is, yes, they are still standing there to catch them. Here's what they do, though. You will see the two wrestlers or whoever's there to catch, but then the camera pans up to the person on the top rope. So you're not seeing the people standing there to cooperate for an extended period of time to catch that wrestler coming off. You're seeing the person on the top, and then they jump down, and then boom, thank you for that tweet. I appreciate that. No problem. Don't forget, follow me at, what is that? Morton's
_ law.
Okay, I have a couple of them. And Morton 4-1. I have 2 of them. The reason I have 2 of them is because if I get blocked from one, I can go attack people with the other one. And so Jericho hasn't blocked me. Man. Yeah, this is the story of my life. Jericho has yet to block me on the Morton 4-1, but he's blocked Morton's Law.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Jericho, if you're watching this, please don't block my friend on the other one. That will just be like Rich.
Please don't block us. Please don't.
You're watching us right now on X.
Look, I understand, because you see, I had to go ahead. Well, we got about like 70 people in here, so it's like
70 people on X. Wait, should we do it collectively? Hi guys.
Hi guys.
So that's the difference. I'm sorry before you say what you wanted to say. That's the difference in the production. WWE knows how to show something where it doesn't expose the business. You don't see the guy standing there waiting to catch, and AEW has to fix it. It looks horrible.
And it's even better that Kevin Dunn is no longer running the production truck. Once he's been gone, we've noticed a lot of those camera angles that we've talked about that I've raved about for the last few months. And you're starting to see it actually adds to the match, where it will make the matches seem even more athletic, more realistic when it comes to how it's shot. The camera angle above, which it seems like it's coming from the upper deck. Or they'll show the wrestler kind of like the Michael Bay camera angle, I call it, where guy has the camera and then he kind of pivots around the ring as the match is going on, but he doesn't zoom in. So it's kind of like a headshot, but you get ahead and you keep going and you pan around until you get back to the original position. Then you get back into the ring. The production has been, I think, the greatest improvement noticeably with WWE's product right now.
Without question. I have one. I'm sorry, Rich. You were going to say something before my last rant?
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, peeps. Of course, it's gotten better. About 2 years ago, we got Johnny Gargano back, and then what happened?
Yes.
He came back. Toronto, cool thing. I watched the video. It was like the anniversary was like what this past week. 34 camera cuts within 2 minutes.
Oh yes, yeah. Turnbuckle
look,
back, forth, back, forth, back, forth.
Look, for me,
yeah.
Of course it's gotten better. There's no such thing as a Kevin Dunn that exists. It's the little things. It's just the little things.
Yes.
Chris, you can continue, my guy.
Okay, my final rant. Swerve Strickland. We talk about how when he was a heel, the fans started to cheer him. They started to love him. They got behind him. And he turned into a face because the fans wanted him to be a face. It was organic.
Yes.
For whatever reason, now that he has to wrestle Bryan Danielson in this match, he has had to turn back to being a heel. But it's twofold. It's one, the fans, here's the problem. The more Swerve talks, the more you lose interest. And this happened on Dynamite. His promo, and AEW has a problem with this overall because I felt like Ospreay and MJF also did this. They go way too long, more than you need to. AEW needs to start subscribing to what is known as less is more. They don't know what that means. Sometimes you don't have to give us all that stuff, just like their matches. We don't need 20-minute matches in every match. I mean, did Claudio and Okada have to go 20 minutes to a time limit draw? Okada is supposed to be one of the greatest wrestlers of our generation. And nothing against Claudio, but why is he the one taking Okada to a time limit draw? That's just an example of little things in AEW that we can nitpick. But this this segment with Swerve became painful. Like, his mic work just, he stopped. Nothing is being said. There's no conviction. And it just drones on and on and on. And I think you can hear it in the crowd too. And what I mean by hear it in the crowd is you don't hear the crowd. No one's reacting. It just stops. Am I wrong here, guys?
You're not. Listen, you're not. One of the things that I can possibly say when it comes down to AEW is that creative control is a problem. When you give too much of it, it becomes detrimental.
Yes, just ask Mercedes.
That was about to be my get out of my head.
There you go.
Jesus. But you see, when you allow somebody the chance to go ahead and run things the way that they want to, instead of like, look, we're gonna be stretched for time. It's gonna be like this. We're gonna have structure. You're gonna say this. You're gonna say that. Don't go ahead and give them too much. Don't go ahead and speak too much. Let it continue to be ominous. Look at it this way. I go ahead and compare Swerve versus Danielson right now to the modern day Flair versus Shawn. Never in the sense would they ever be like. I'm just saying, look, within what it means.
The spot that they're in.
Exactly. If you're going to tell me that you're here to play the role of being a face as champion, look at Shawn. Shawn was loved by many. He's going against Flair, who's also loved by many, living legend. What was it like? It was like, look, I don't want to retire you. I don't want to be the one to go ahead and do that to my idol. I looked up to you as a kid. And once Flair became persistent and more persistent and more persistent, what happened? Shawn was like, look, I don't want to do it. But in the case of Old Yeller, I'm going to take you behind the shed and I'm going to put you out your misery. When it came down to the match, what happened? I'm sorry, I love you. And the story, super kick, 1, 2, 3, he retires Flair. And he continues to be a face.
Yeah.
With Swerve, you can do this with, it's not that hard.
Yes.
It honestly isn't. He can just be like, look, when it comes to me and my legacy in this title, I'm going to try my hardest to defend it in the best way possible. Not that I would want to do it against somebody of your stature, but the fact of the matter is that, look, I have to do this for me. It is my legacy. Yours is done. It's been done. Just go ahead and enjoy what you can now, because honestly, this is just for the business itself. You've done it all, but for me, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
Still keeps the face persona, still goes ahead and creates intrigue, because now you have two baby faces going against each other. It's not a heel and a face, and it's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put you in the dirt. Like it's nothing like
Yeah.
like come on. But once again, to each his own. Tony Khan likes to, you know what, swerve, you know, just become kill shot again. You know, just go and show the heelish antics.
Yeah, a lot of
it's like, how did he build that?
It was tough to watch. I mean, even the MJF Osprey promo back and forth went way too long. You're like watching this going, can it please end? Because they've been getting mic work almost every week, the two of them. And if you listen, a lot of it is just repeat material. You're not hearing a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of it didn't play well from MJF's standpoint because he's the American. They were in Cardiff, Wales during Dynamite. So, of course, you think the European crowd is going to definitely be behind Will Ospreay. And they were for the most part. And I liked Ospreay and some of the jabs that he had back, probably some of the best jabs that he's had in the promo battles that they've done. But like you said, it did go a little bit long. And at the same time, you have to then wonder the way that they've been building it. It's like, well, if I'm going to get fined, how much is it going to be? And it seems like Tony Schiavone always ends up having the ear to Tony Khan in the back. Like, how does that happen? So it's only 100,000. Okay, it'll be worth it. And then they just start fighting. What would have been cool? They come up and they do 5 minutes of what they're doing. And then just as they're about to go ahead and say something, it's like, I can't touch you because of the fine. And then, of course, MJF needles him. Right. He doesn't even have to say anything. I'm getting a fine. And then they just start fighting. They could have shaved maybe 5 minutes off of that promo and had the same effect.
And again, I don't want to alienate AEW because, you know, people who just tuning in to watch us for the first time, we don't hate AEW. We want it to succeed. And we just want to point out the things that can be better so people would want to watch the show.
Yes.
Exactly right. They got it. They need, you know, people talking about like Britt Baker, as wrong as she was to point out, you know, that 60-minute draw and how people lost time. There are ways in these shows to cut time so people can get more TV exposure and you can get more people over.
That's true.
And for those that think that we've been uneven in our criticism, there was a time when it was a weekly excoriation of WWE on this program between myself and my partner.
Raw,
almost weekly.
SmackDown.
We dumped on Raw. We dumped on SmackDown. The only
Peeps, every single week we dreaded talking about wrestling in general. And we had to do a show.
Yes.
Can you imagine that?
Yes. So they've improved. WWE realized that they're WWE. They have the money, the backing, and the talent. They cleared off a lot of the bluster that was there, and they've improved their product. And they're going to continue to improve it into a position right now where they are. We just want AEW to now then do the same. Because AEW, as far as I've said, and I've said this before, AEW kind of forced WWE to improve their product, even though they were making money hand over fist. The results were the fans were not happy with the product. AEW kind of forced their hand to improve. WWE's improved. Now it's AEW's their time to try and improve that product to where we know that they can be with the talent on that roster.
Yeah, but again, to reiterate, they only improved because of one man leaving. AEW's worst enemy was the whole Vince scandal. If Vince doesn't leave, we don't know what WWE looks like today.
No, that's true. That's honestly. Well, I mean, you can't fully say that because he did leave immediately. I would say the domino effect to all of this is Cody leaving.
That was the beginning of it. Yes.
That was the beginning of it. I mean, because look at it this way. Cody shows up at WrestleMania 38, Dallas, Texas. Vince is still running the company. Vince is allowing like Cody to go ahead and become this kind of like bigger filled babyface star. And around the time that it stems to what? Hell in a Cell, Cody tears his pec. He allows them to wrestle the match. Cody becomes Super Cody. And then from there, it's like, okay, WWE is actually on somewhat of a right path within what they're doing with Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, i.e. Roman Reigns, Brock. It was getting somewhere. As you can say, yes, you know, it is an attribute to what AEW is now with Vince leaving in the whole scandal. But I honestly say that, look, it all stems with Cody. Because let's say had Cody been there for like Brawl Out, would Brawl Out happen the way that it happened? I'd say no. I'd honestly say that wouldn't happen if Cody's around. It's just the little mini things. For me, I think it stems with Cody first.
I mean, and to your point, like we talk about Tony Khan, not everything he does is bad. He does good things.
Of
so
course.
the same applies to Vince. Vince had good ideas. Obviously, he's been running that company for 40 plus years. He had good ideas even in his old age. But a lot of it wasn't good. And a lot of it turned the fans off. And a lot of it drove the fans to AEW, who now, if you watch, we talk about attendance, I think a lot of those AEW fans are now watching WWE. They're
doing it in secret, and then they bash it in public. That's literally what I'm thinking. Because they sit there, they're like, oh, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Oh, wait, I thought you're AEW stand. Like, what's the point of watching? Like,
but to be fair, if those fans are actually wrestling fans, right now WWE, not overall. I mean, listen, there's still your typical WWE match that you can do without, but you're getting better wrestling in WWE than we've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's and I mean it stems with a lot of wrestlers. It starts with a lot of them. But I would definitely say, of course, just the entertainment and storyline portion of it is at a top tier position that it was like 2019, 2020-ish, pre-pandemic. But still, it's like
and they make people feel. That's the important part about the matches that we
Yes.
Well, I guess if you believe in MJF, MJF are the facts, and facts don't care about feelings. So,
I mean, he most of the time when he does things to get a rib, I mean, it's amazing. When he says certain things, it's like, damn, okay, geez, you have to say, did you have to, like, what, to start off the whole feud with Ospreay?
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, I know you want to go ahead and do this, but I also heard that. Your grandmother.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, you should go ahead and buy a whole plot of the size of a football field. She needs enough space that she can possibly have to get comfortable. And I'm sitting there like,
wow.
Yo, like I know Christian Cage is like, yo, Jungle Boy, I know you had a father, but your father's dead. Yeah, I get that, but
it's almost like the Randy Orton stuff that he was saying to Rey Mysterio. It was like, oh, let's go ahead and talk to Eddie Guerrero. Oh, wait a minute, that's right.
Eddie's not
dead.
There.
He's in hell.
Even the crowd, though. When you talk about MJF, I think even the crowd, when you hear the same material, and his goal is just to push the envelope, just to be outrageous and say the most ridiculous things, even the fans go, okay, we see this.
We've heard it before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then the span of Maxwell Jacob Friedman being Maxwell Jacob Friedman, he said a lot within his past 5 years of being in the company. So it's like, I can't sit there and just be like, MJF. Listen, by far, one of the much more captivating wrestlers of the modern era.
But at least MJF did bring the caveat in the promo about why he's acting the way he is, which is basically Ospreay came in and took away his shot.
Ruined all of that.
And ruined everything. And those are the kinds of nuggets that MJF does within his promos that makes them so interesting, because he as a heel, he brings a way of kind of humanizing himself within the feud. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
so it's something that a lot of people don't do.
Him admitting jealousy is interesting, but do you want that from your heel to admit that? I don't know.
Only from him. Because I think he's the only one that could actually make it work and believable within his character. If it's with somebody else, it's like, okay, you sound like a tweener now. Oh, you're trying to sound like sympathy. Yeah. He's the only one that can get away with it.
I mean, truth be told, we've seen it in the past with other wrestlers going ahead and doing it. It's not, it wouldn't be something like so new, like fairly crazy. Because look at it this way. Randy Orton wins the World Heavyweight title, becomes the youngest World Heavyweight champion. Triple H. And then, from there, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be champion. You went ahead and took that from me. You're trying to go ahead and become. So that's one. Who else can I possibly go ahead and say? I would say Rock and Punk 2013. That works. Cena and I would say Roman Reigns in a sense. 2016, 2017-ish?
Oh, you mean when he went and railed on him on television for like 3 weeks?
I do this better part-time better than you could ever do it full-time. Yeah. Yeah. So, straight up, it was like, nice speech. anytime he says that now, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? It's over. Rest in peace to this person. But the little things, Austin Theory and Cena most recently, we've seen this in the past. It's not like, it's fairly new to see like a heel being jealous of the face, and when the storyline is being told. Yes, of course, because MJF was first a face. He says that Ospreay literally took all the shine, and now this is happening. But listen, everybody takes everybody's shine. It's professional wrestling. You go ahead and you make the case of being a heel. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But still, within the backstory of just MJF being MJF, give it time. You give it time. I mean, it's MJF. You let things build with him.
Guys, kangaroo kick. Come on.
Didn't he say no kangaroo kicks though? That's what
he's a heel. He has to go ahead and tell you he's not going to do something and then do it anyway.
only Maxwell Jacob Friedman. You gotta love him. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this marks the end of the first half. The same. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and get into our questions, and then of course the last part of today's show, our predictions for tomorrow's AEW All In. So stay tuned. Do not go anywhere, because the second half of Saturday afternoon's main event is coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the second half of Saturday afternoon's main event. Of course, I'm the phenomenal one. Right next to me is the Peep Snake, and right down below us is Mr. 411. We're here to give you laughs, good times, and all the wrestling news possible. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get into our questions. If you want to send in a question, you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is one thing only. DM us on Instagram at Saturday afternoon_main event. Send in a question in the words of the wrestling god, WWE Hall of Famer JBL. I guarantee it will be on the next episode of the show. So that being said, first question comes from Master Sean 007. He says, greetings, gentlemen. With WWE's impending move to Netflix, do you think that now is the time for the WWE to create an all-women's wrestling show? And my other question is, what do you think about 83-year-old Dory Funk Jr. wrestling in a tag team deathmatch? He is supposedly teaming up with a guy who is battling cancer, from what I read.
Good grief.
Nate, take this one?
Wow. Well, okay.
A lot to digest.
The first half of that question, I don't think the WWE will ever do a full-on just women's show, because I think that they feel that the women in the company are as much of the product intertwined with everything there as possible. So to kind of separate it and to have them have their own show, I don't think that's going to happen. I could see documentaries. I can see retrospectives of wrestlers' careers and what they think of those kinds of things. As far as giving them their own, like a 1-hour show, which was what TNA thought about doing with the Knockouts some time ago before Hogan kind of put the kibosh on that. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Right. As far as Dory Funk Jr. at 83 years old.
Yeah, that's a crazy age.
I don't know what to say about that, because Chris and I, we know we were in an era where we've seen older wrestlers who probably should have retired, like, case in point, Dory Funk Jr.'s brother, the late Terry Funk, wrestled until he was 70. Not only was he wrestling, he was doing moonsaults off the top rope with no knee cartilage. So, I don't know. Obviously, Dory Funk Jr. is going to be one of those guys that's going to that shows you he can still somehow technically get in the ring. Should he be doing it?
I say no.
Of course not. Because I'm the same guy that excoriated Ric Flair for getting in the ring in that final match that he had, that I still to this day have not seen and refuse to see. So
well, you haven't seen it?
I still have I've seen bits and pieces of it from social media and YouTube that shown clips of it. I still to this day have not seen that entire match, and nor will I.
That footage is literally 3 years old already. What the heck are you doing?
I refuse
I respect
to
that.
see.
He doesn't want to see his greatest and favorite wrestler of all time looking that way. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to see that.
Yeah, I understand. I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
It's embarrassing to the legacy. We talked about Jericho today. We talked about JR. I mean, Dory Funk Jr. There's no anything really to say on that. I don't know. I mean, anyone can physically still get into the ring if you can walk between the ropes, right? You can get in the ring. What you do when you get in there. I don't know what he's doing when he gets in there.
That's like asking if anybody wants to see Hulk Hogan's try to do a leg drop now with the 20 back surgeries that he's had.
He wouldn't get up.
That would be it.
Yeah. I mean, so with the women's, that will never happen. What I would like to see, now that they're going to Netflix, is an after-hours women's show. So we see what they do after they leave the ring. That would be it. Yeah.
Kind of like a Showtime After Dark kind of deal is what you're thinking.
Some good old classic Skinamax. Yeah, Chelsea Green, what are you doing after hours?
Hi, guys.
Look at Rich. He's lost it.
What is this?
Let me drink my tea.
Hacking my old cable box to get Spiked TV? Like, what the heck is wrong with you two?
The hot box.
Exactly.
I think Chelsea has a hot box.
What? Yeah, they're gonna zap it real quick if you don't shut up, Chris.
Oh,
jeez. Oh man, love you guys.
What is she seeing, Matt Cardona? By the way, Chelsea, I'm single. Chelsea, I'm single. Matt Cardona, come on, what are you seeing?
Send all of your comments to the Morton's.
Wow.
We have too much fun doing this show, man.
I swear, man. I swear. Next one goes to Long Island Isaiah. He says, with Ricochet signed to AEW, I can imagine seeing him in the Casino Gauntlet. Speaking of that, when is TK bringing back Ricky effing Starks? Cokehead is pissing me off.
Didn't news just surface on Ricky Starks? I think Tony had mentioned him in terms of his future. I saw that headline, didn't read the article.
So we all thought that his contract was up since like July, right? Come to find out, Tony goes on the air and he says, oh yeah, he's still under contract. So why, if he's still under contract, why is he being used?
Some good that does him. He hasn't been on television since when? The spring? What are they doing with Ricky Starks? What? Okay. Ricky Starks right now is one of the most gifted guys that they have in that company. Forget about his height. Forget about whatever the knock against him is.
Yeah,
he can talk and he can wrestle. And the fact remains that it wasn't that long ago that he and Big Bill were AEW World Tag Team Champions. And then all of a sudden, the team is broken up, Starks has disappeared, and Big Bill now needs, after being in the business some 10, 15 years or however long he's been in the business, now he needs Chris Jericho to show him the way? What are they doing? Doesn't make any sense to me, but I digress.
Listen, he clearly burned bridges. Tony doesn't like him. Who knows how much long? Did Tony specify when the contract ends or not?
No.
So we don't know. So he's clearly in catering. And
unfortunately,
when this contract is up, unless Tony Khan has a change of heart and decides to put him back on television, we know we're going to see Ricky Starks in NXT. It's a matter of time.
True. No love lost. I ain't wasting time on this one because if I do, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a vein.
I just tried to calmly state my piece. That one really irked me.
Yeah, because it's Ricky. It's absolute Ricky Starks.
Yeah, exactly.
Good grief.
H got fired up. Woo!
Yeah.
Almost seemed like he seemed like he was about to rapidly open up Space Mountain. Jesus,
fire me! I'm already fired.
I'm already fired.
Last question today comes from Tombstone City Adam. He says this. Yo, not gonna lie, I want to see Andrade v Carmelo Hayes 4 on Bastion Berlin's card. Not a stupid SmackDown go home show the night before. I completely agree with you, my friend. It is honest that those two are the best thing going for SmackDown wrestling wise. The last 3 matches have been stellar. They've been great. I've been into each one. Every single time they come on my television screen, I'm like, great, there we go. This is worthy television. In the words of Puppet Vince McMahon, this is such good shit. I mean, honest to God.
It's good shit, pal.
Exactly. So it's like, for me, looking at it from this perspective, it sucks that I'm thinking that these two are going to have to face each other for the 4th time on a SmackDown. The only way this makes sense is if they go into SmackDown, bring the house down, and Carmelo Hayes wins for a 2nd time in a row. Now it's
to tie it up.
Now it's 2-2. If you want to go ahead and make it seem like, okay, bad blood is brewing for real for the next month and a half, you build them without even having a match against them.
Exactly.
What is this? A best of 7? I don't want no best of 7. It's already 2-2. Rubber
best
match,
of 5.
End all be all. End all be all. You go ahead and have it at bad blood. If you want to make it seem like the gimmick pay-per-view is people with bad blood, let it simmer with them for the next month and a half.
Yes.
They both seem like they can talk. If you make it seem like that and you have them go in fading each other every other SmackDown or so, hey, look, I'm not mad at it. Give that to me and I'll be happy.
Was Carmelo in a barbershop last night? What was going on?
He was cutting a promo at the barbershop that he usually does his promos in. And that's when Andrade came into the barbershop and started giving him grief. And then they separated him. And then you could hear before the promo was over, it's like, how are you going to have him come in and interrupt me while I'm talking?
No, we got to start locking this door up when I'm in here, yo.
Like, exactly.
So
it was funny.
Not only are the matches good, but the story is good. So now Andrade's saying you're disrespecting me. The way the post-match, after Carmelo won, he tried to grab him, turn him around, and let him know he won.
Yes.
I like that because when we talk about Andrade, we know his history in AEW with Sammy Guevara, all right? If you remember.
Yeah.
That. Sammy went on social media to talk crap. Andrade told him he was going to punch him in the face. He went to TV that same week, punched him in the face, got sent home. So Andrade is don't mess with Andrade. But here, it looks like they're working well together. There's no issues. And it's perfect. And it makes you care about what these two are doing, not just wrestling.
Yes.
Exactly.
And if the plan is to have them wrestle at Bash in Berlin, I would do one better and make that the first match of the show. Let what they saw on Friday night simmer, and then let that be one of the last images that you saw from the show the night before going into Bash in Berlin, and have that hot program start the show off. That's what I would do. That makes perfect sense if that's what they were to do. If they go a best of 5 like you're talking about, which actually does make long-term sense, then I agree with where you're coming from.
Yeah, because I wouldn't see like why they would have 2 more matches after Carmelo presumably picks up a win next weekend. So it's like I can honestly see best of 5. And from there you can go ahead and book whatever you want to book after. But if you go ahead and make this match liable, and as Peep said, if they go the route of having it go into Bastion Berlin and let it be the first match of the night, then look, you have to allow a month and change for you to book that bad blood match. And if you're gonna have it be in some type of like gimmick match or stipulation, then so be it. I would say maybe a street fight, maybe no holds barred, something within that calamity.
Make it a Texas death match. First person to get up, because they've been trying to knock each other out for the most part. We know we can get the technical matches from them. We also know that they can both do the high flying stuff. What happens if they have to try to knock each other out? Somebody can't answer the bell before the count of 10. Something like that. If you're going to go gimmick route, that suits it perfectly for that kind of a match.
We'll see what happens. So with that being said, that marks the end of the questions, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate these. You want to send in more, as we said, DM us on Instagram at Saturday Afternoons _main event. Send in a question, it will be featured on the next episode of the show. And with that being said, we get to the last part of today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, look, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Not today at 1.
Not today, guys.
Guys, they're just ribbing me because prior to the show, I honestly thought All In was today. Guys, I'm so sorry. Jeez. Like, cut me some slack here, okay?
You gotta say it like Tony Khan. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to have a major announcement next week, so stay tuned.
That's right, bro.
That's right, bro. Whatever, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, we have how many matches on this card?
35.
9 matches. Go figure.
That's
Or make that 10. That's 10. Yeah.
Yeah, but the pre-show probably has 16.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I would think that the casino gauntlet match will probably be in the pre-show.
Wait, have I been slipping under a I didn't. You know what? I really haven't been paying attention to a lot of wrestling as much this past week and a half or so.
Mhm.
But wait, Stokely is wrestling?
It's a mixed tag. It's Stokely and Chris Statlander, and then it's Willow and I believe it's Ishii. It's like a mixed tag. And whoever wins that match gets to determine the stipulation for when Statlander and Willow wrestle it all out. That's what the stipulation is. That's what they talked about over the week. So
let me just get this straight.
yes.
We went from having Better Than You Baby face Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor tag team titles last year.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, but can we confirm? I know how Wiki has it lined up right now, but we don't know if that's going to be the opening match or not, do we? Can we?
No, that is the pre-show
chances
match.
are that this is just that might be a pre-show match.
Yeah, that's the pre-show match. But
Okay,
like all the
right.
other matches, that's not in order. I don't believe so. But
Yeah.
but for a fact, that's gonna be the first match of the show, definitely, because that's the pre-show match. But geez, how do we? I digress. I'm not even getting into it. Peace. Just put me down. Willow Nightingale for the win.
There you go.
Yeah, no one cares.
Wow. We went from good stuff last year to I'm not doing this. But look,
did you hear what Jim Cornette? I'm sorry, Rich. Did you hear what Jim Cornette called Ishii, which is really funny? He said he looks like a human baked potato.
Wow.
I mean, is he wrong?
You wouldn't say that to his face, would you, bro?
I mean, is he wrong? I mean, is he wrong? Like, we're keeping it up here. Is he wrong? I mean, I wouldn't say he's wrong. Jesus.
Yeah. There we go.
This is what it's
Bruv.
That's right, bro. Wear the bro t-shirts. They should be doing that right now, you know?
I mean, doesn't he have like a jersey that says it on the front?
I think so. It's like a soccer jersey that has bruv on the front. Yeah.
Okay, so this next match is way too busy to care about. Like, do we even have to talk about it? Can we just move to the Bucks? Like, look at that match.
Yeah,
it is kind of a
4-way London ladder match for the World Trios Championship. Go figure.
I don't want to see that. Does anyone want to see that?
Just can you just put me down for like, let's see, I would say, I don't even know who to put. Like, keep the patriarchy for this. Like, should I even care?
No,
like,
nobody cares.
Like, yo, I'm looking at this card and I'm just like,
just for the sake of the prediction, who do you actually, if you had to really pick somebody out of this
patriarchy?
match?
They're retaining.
Yeah, I'll go patriarchy. Fine.
Yeah, they're retaining. I'm honestly saying, just for the betterment half of like, look, Bang Bang Gang. Look, finally they're on a. This is first match. Okay, like cool, like major sense of a pay-per-view for them. But
I could actually see a scenario where they have Pac in the Blackpool Combat Club winning just because of where they're at. So
I mean,
if they wanted to go ahead.
But then that would mean that this honestly solidifies that, like, the Lucha Brothers are really in WWE. Because mind you, Pac and them are literally within a stable. So if Pac kind of like joins the BCC, and once the trio titles with them, then this is solidified.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, that triangle is pretty much dead anyway right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So I mean, you know what? Okay, then peeps, you can put me down for Pac in the Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah, write it down.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't care.
He's like, next.
Look at it this way. I'll put it like this. What happened here?
What just happened?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the heck? Okay,
Wow.
We're good here. We're good. Look, three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Bucks, FTR, Acclaimed.
Speaking of cringe, by the way, I felt like the Caster and Bowens promo on Dynamite was cringy. It wasn't good. It was like, I feel like, and Caster calling himself the greatest wrestler alive. What is that about? Like, dude, you don't even register on the list. Like, where would you put Caster on the list of the greatest wrestlers alive? Would he crack the top 100? I don't even know.
Yo, Eugene is a better professional wrestler than Max Caster. I'll say it like that.
And that's not even an exaggeration either.
I was actually joking. Wait, you actually think Eugene's better than Max Caster? Holy shit! Damn, it's 2024. We're laying it all on the line here.
Yes. So who do you got going? But I my personal opinion, I actually think that FTR is going to come out of this with the belts.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah. Peeps, look at it this way.
All right.
This is the Young Bucks we're talking about. Okay. The Acclaim would be my go-to because, of course, the faces you'd want them to go in. You'd want them to go into All In. You'd want them to be in front of a packed crowd at Wembley of 55,000, and you'd want to see them go ahead and win the AEW tag team titles.
Yeah.
Where is Okada on this card?
Oh, that's right. He wrestled already. His match with Claudio was on.
Isn't the whole thing of the new elite, the fact that they are the elite, is just, look, we have all the gold. We're going to go ahead and stay at top of the business. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. By any means necessary. Okay, then. Okada's going to go ahead.
Unless Okada is going to be in that Casino Gauntlet match, and we don't know about that. Because they don't tell you who the opponents are in the Gauntlet match, really. So.
You got a point.
Right.
But then it's just like.
So, and even with that Casino Gauntlet match, if Okada is in there, wouldn't that be a perfect slot to put Ricochet in if he's actually going to show up on it? It's already signed. He's already there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Put him in that.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking the same thing. But
there's always a surprise on all these shows. We're going to get at least one, if two surprises.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why for me.
So you got the Acclaim winning the tag team.
I got the Young Bucks. I got the Young Bucks.
Oh, you got the Bucks. Okay.
I got the Bucks. Yeah. Give me the Bucks.
Okay. You know what I'm taking the Purple Haze and Bob Roop. That's who's gonna win.
What are we gonna do with Chris Morton, ladies and gentlemen? This man is an enigma. We love you, man. Come on. Casino Gauntlet. I have to say somebody who's gonna go ahead and win this. You know what? For the betterment, at least hopefully Tony Khan gets his head out of his ass. Can Ricky Starks just show up and win the Gauntlet match? I mean, if you're gonna send him off and his contract is gonna go ahead and end soon, I would say just have him go ahead and end it off on a right footing. Let him lose to Swerve. I can care less. I wouldn't mind, but at least you have him go ahead and main event a show somewhat. So I would say Ricky Starks. Just
wait a second. I'm sorry, Rich. I have to cut you there. It's if a guy's leaving your company, your goal isn't to make him look good.
I mean, they did it with Jade Cargill.
Well, they also did it with Ethan Page. Remember, his last really good match was against Kenny Omega when they were trying to see, where does he stand in this thing? And he had a match, and he pushed him to the limit, and then he was done.
Yeah, but did they know he was leaving? Was that confirmed? I mean, any promoter in the history of this business, you job the person out that's leaving. Everyone has done it. Every promoter.
Yeah, the time-honored tradition, as they called it.
Oh, jeez. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. If he's going to do the honors on the way out, just do the honors. Look up at the lights. But the fact of the matter is hey, look, we gave you something that we gave Jay Cargill. Fine with that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm hoping for. So I'm like, who else am I possibly going to say is going to enter this match and going to face, Swerve here? I mean, like.
I got the winner of the gauntlet. You ready?
Go ahead.
I've been hearing rumblings that he's close to healthy, so who knows how true this is. Again, internet, whatever, grain of salt. Adam Cole, baby.
That's a good prediction.
If
good. He's there.
I love Adam Cole. The problem with that is you're going to have to go ahead and book that match against MJF. And with MJF being a heel and a whole Undisputed Kingdom shtick, all of that stuff, you gotta find a way to tie that in because it's kind of unfinished business. Yeah, MJF came back at Double or Nothing. Yeah, he went ahead and kicked him right in the schnoz. Yeah, he kind of went ahead and said, "Get the hell out of my ring." Yeah, you couldn't stop me. All of this kind of stuff. And he was like, "Okay, I'm the Wolf of Wrestling. I'm back, and I'm not effing leaving." Turns heel. That wasn't being heel. You would want to see Adam Cole and MJF actually have that match. But the problem is now, they're both heels. So what? Would it be, so how stupid would it be for Tony Khan to, oh, you know what? Look, Adam Cole goes ahead and becomes champion. Then we can go ahead and have MJF and Adam Cole. Both of them heels fighting against each other. How nice.
Yeah.
For me, I want to make it as believable as possible. That's where it comes. That's what it comes down to. Adam Cole wouldn't be bad. You know who would make more sense? Wardlow.
Oh God, no, Wardlow's dead. No, they killed Wardlow. No,
I can see if they have him in the match. I can't see him winning.
No, but if it comes out from an Undisputed Kingdom member, it would have to be Wardlow. Because remember what he said. Adam Cole was like, "Look, Wardlow's gonna win the world title, and then he's gonna hand it to me." Those were his exact words.
But we also remember Wardlow had a world title shot and lost. And that was basically the end of that push.
True.
So I don't see that happening. His push is not as organic as it once was.
No.
They'd have to do some serious rehab to get him back to where he was.
That's the problem. There is no rehab because every time they put him on TV, they make him look good and then he vanishes again. So they don't know how to book him. They've never known how to book him, and it's time for him to go. I don't even know if WWE's interested. That's another thing. Do they even care about Wardlow?
I actually think they probably are, but maybe nowhere near in the monster way that he was, say, a year ago. There's probably still some interest there.
We'll see. So I guess I'm still gonna keep Ricky. Chris got Adam Cole. Peeps, just name somebody. You just
Rick Knox. I don't know. Put him in the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of Saturday afternoon's main event. We'll see you guys next week. We gotta go. Bye.
How about Marco Stunt?
Oh, good God. I would not be surprised if he was actually in the match.
No. What?
What? Yeah, no. Oh, boy. We've devolved, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's easy when you talk about this product. How do you take a lot of it seriously?
It's crazy. Well, since the problem with figuring out who's going to win the gauntlet is that we don't really know who the participants are because they don't tell you who's going to be in it. So unless they tell us during Collision tonight, then we'd have a better idea. But it's probably best to just go to the next match and then go from there.
Thank you.
Good point. All right. Well, look. Oh, geez. Last chance match for the FTW title for the World Championship. If Huck loses, he can never challenge for the FTW Championship as long as Jericho's champion. For the betterment's sake of knowing that I don't want to see them continue on with this utter sense of BS,
It's
Hook for the win.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, Hook has to win this match, clearly. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
If Hook doesn't win this, the rant next week will be legendary.
Oh, yeah. I would probably lead off the rant, too.
That rant will take up all the time for the show. I kid you not. We'll go to a whole hour 45 just ranting about this one match.
Yes.
So look, Hook for the win. Yes. Okay, next match. Coffin match, AEW TNT title. Perry Allen, Jack Perry for the win. I'm starting to love my beloved scapegoat. I think he goes ahead and carries this over, and he goes ahead and beats Darby Allin at his own game.
Yeah,
Jack Perry
kind of like a full circle deal from the match that he had last year, and now he's featured more so on the card. This would be kind of the way to erase the stink of what happened last year. So I can see that happening, building on the Elite.
Yo, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Right before Perry does a coffin drop onto Jack Perry while he's on a coffin, he goes ahead, lays Perry on the coffin, knocks on the coffin. It's like, real wood, cry me a river.
Yeah,
that would be good.
That would be good.
I'd love it. But you know what? I digress. But
there you go.
Yeah, give me Perry. Only just for the full circle.
You know, it'd be even better in a perfect world that we'll never get because of the business. If Drew McIntyre accompanied Jack Perry to the ring.
Oh, that would be hilarious. And then he'd give him a Claymore kick right into the coffin.
Oh, why do we think of such things like this? Yo?
Oh, man.
Nah, imagine. Drew's just actually in London right now before he stops in Berlin. He's just like, you know what? Let me just go to London real quick. Goes ahead and takes a picture from his suite at All In. Just like, hey, living legend right there. And it's just Perry holding up the title after the match. I kid you not. The ultimate troll.
Or just have a bag of broken glass in his hand. With AJ's bracelet on the wrist while he's holding the broken glass in his hand. They say, those that talk about glass ceilings being broken, ... You know, we could do something like that.
Yo, the betterment half of this year has just been funny.
Yes.
MJF versus Will Ospreay. Oh, definitely. No, definitely.
Yes.
No, definitely. If he doesn't, something's wrong here. But I mean, he's definitely winning. I got my money on Perry. Singles match, AEW American Championship. Our American hero, the man who is the real American, fights for the rights of every man. You know, MJF versus Will Ospreay, the King of Bruvs.
Ospreay. I think Ospreay has to win the match.
Ospreay will win
on home turf.
Yes.
And he's going to win. Guess how he's going to win? He's going to use the Tiger Driver.
Of course.
Yeah.
See? We as wrestling fans can kind of see where it's going. And especially if you remember on Dynamite, Bryan Danielson came out and endorsed it. He said, do it.
Do it.
Right? You know what you got to do. Just do it. And then he walked off. So we knew where he was going with that.
Yup. Great stuff. Next match. This is going to be my bathroom break match. After I see Britt Baker's entrance, because it's just Britt Baker, you know, that's DMD. You know, that's my shorty right there. But look, fact of the matter is this. Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the AEW TBS title. And we're sitting there looking at this the right way. Sadly, I'm going to have to say this, but Mercedes Moné is retaining. It's
because of the fact that Camille is with her in England and that get her over.
You know what? It would be nice if Britt can have somebody in her corner. And I think you know where I'm going with this, peeps.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard anything for the better half of a year and a half.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the pop if Jamie Hayter comes out in Britt Baker's corner.
Great thought, Rich. Great
thought. But I actually think she shows up in another match. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, the following match.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's what I'm thinking. Wow. See, we're of the same mindset. We just had different match spots in it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta. She fits in both. She fits in both matches. Honestly, it's just like, this is something.
Chris, which match do you think would work better if she does show up on the show? Would it be in this match, or would it be in for the AEW World Title match with Toni Storm and Mariah May?
Well, I think considering she's a former champ, she's the former world champ, right? She wasn't the TBS champ, correct?
No, she was the AEW World Champion.
Right, that's my point. I think that that's the bigger title, and that's what Jamie Hayter was champion of, and that's why, to your point, it makes more sense her showing up after the winner is declared in that match.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, okay then. We'll keep her for the next match then. But in my sense, yeah, Mercedes Moné is winning this match. That's
Okay.
what I got. But yes, next match, singles match, AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm, the Glamour Mariah May. This thing's been brewing for a year.
Yes.
Oh, you think last year, they put the belt on Saraya in her hometown, right? So this year, did they take the title off the hometown? Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I always forget Toni Storm's not from England.
Yeah, she's from Australia.
Right,
so.
I don't know why I do that.
Remember when come on. I mean, remember when I thought that, Osprey was from England? You were like, Rich, he's from, wait, who was it? No, I thought Jay White was from England. You're like, Rich, he's from New Zealand.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez,
You know what?
it happens, bro. It happens.
It happens.
So our people watching on X, sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. But with this one, give me Toni Storm. Yeah, give me Toni Storm.
I'm gonna go Mariah May. I like the way they built her up. I think that it would, for them to do everything they did in this storyline and then have her lose, it doesn't make sense.
Yes. Especially if Jamie Hayter gets in there and costs Toni Storm the championship, because you've got to realize she hasn't been on TV in a year. Yeah. She's coming back for her championship. And if I'm not mistaken, she lost to Toni Storm that championship at some point. So not only is she trying to get back at Toni Storm, if that's what they do, she can then twofold get over on her, go after that championship, and then screw Toni all at the same time.
I think we're going to get 3 surprises. Now, whether it's Cole or not, we'll see. But I think we're going to get Jamie Hayter. And then when we get to the main event, I'm going to tell you the other surprise I think we're going to get.
Okay.
I'm going to wait until we get to that match, but I just thought of someone who could return at the end of the main event. But with this match, yeah, I'm definitely going Mariah May.
Yeah, so am I. I'm thinking that this is her time, that the way that they've booked her and the way that they've kind of humanized her descent away from her, that this was the plan all along, and they brought her along, you're going to be my protege, and all of a sudden she sticks the screws to her. And now not only the sight that I have that I think works was how she busted her open with the stiletto shoe, and kind of building into that whole deal to kind of legitimize Mariah May even more so as a threat. I think that's where that goes. And she's going to be home in London. I think that she's going to win the belt.
All right. Well, look, last match. Swerve Danielson, title career, AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland. Look, peeps. I'm so sorry. I should have started playing the theme for you. That's my fault. That's my fault. Hold on. It's a cool little dance break. Prince, you can join along if you want to. I mean, honestly, if we're gonna sit here and say that Danielson's winning this, we're stupid. Of course, we know who got this. Okay, I'm done for today. Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look, Swerve got this.
There you go.
End of an era. Danielson retires. Goodbye. We love you. We appreciate you. Enjoy time with your kids. But yo, honestly, can you imagine? This would be the funniest shit ever. Bryan Danielson wins, holds up the title. Birdie's in the crowd looking like 2011 Miss Girl.
Wow.
It's just sad that her dad literally just won the title. So she has to see him going ahead and working for the next, at least 4 to 5 months again.
Yeah.
Really speaking, Swerve's winning this. There is no other way around this. Who would you have going ahead and winning other than Swerve if it came down to going ahead and beating Bryan Danielson?
But here's where the precedence makes you start questioning even that. They did the same thing with Sting. Remember, Sting in his tag team title match with Darby Allin against the Bucks, everybody thought, this is Sting's last match. His sons come out. They give him all of the pomp and circumstance and all of this stuff. And Sting and Darby Allin still won.
Right.
So I would not be overly shocked. And this is what my prediction is going to be. I would not be surprised if Danielson ends up winning the belt at Wembley. I can almost see how they would do it and the reasoning behind it. That's what I'm going on.
All right,
that's why you pay Nate all that money you pay him. Big money.
Big money.
Not as much
big money. No whammy. Stop.
But all right then. Okay, so you got Danielson, I got Swerve, and I guess Chris, you got.
I don't know. It's a tough one because I have a question. The gauntlet match winner, right? Does AEW do that the way they do Money in the Bank? Can you cash in after you win that match, or does it have to be a match?
I think they usually have the gauntlet winner, then they tell you when they're going to have the title match.
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't have a cash-in scenario.
No.
Because wouldn't that be amazing if Danielson won and then someone could cash in and beat him? How great would that be?
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Without that happening, though,
yeah,
I guess I'll lean Swerve, but I do agree with you and the whole Sting point. You make sense with that. So I wouldn't be shocked if Danielson won, but we'll go Swerve, even though he's not as over as he once was, whether he's a heel or a face. The crowd, he's losing the crowd every week.
I just think my thought process is as far as him losing the fans, I think it's more so because the fans, they don't know what to do to cheer or to boo him.
Right. We don't.
I think if it was a clear path as far as he's going to be a face, because remember, shortly after he did turn face, the fans believed in me and they liked what I did, and I'm glad that we're here. And that was like he's clearly becoming a face. And then it was like 2 weeks later, he's back to denigrating his opponents. Oh, I'll put you in the turf. I'll break your neck. I'll pull your eyes out, that kind of stuff. So they don't know whether they want to cheer him or not. They love the dance. They love Prince Nana. But at the same time, what do they want to do? I think that's kind of the difference.
No, of course. Well, we'll see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, that's for All In tomorrow night. Of course, London time, of course, that will be different. But for us, tomorrow afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of Same for Today. Look, we appreciate all the love. We appreciate everything that you guys continue to show us. There's about 74 people in here. We appreciate you guys. We love y'all. But look, we'll see you guys next week for episode 5. Of course, hopefully it's not a slow news week again. We know that there's going to be a lot of fallouts that we have to go ahead and get to. And then, of course, Bash in Berlin next week as well. So look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we will go ahead and see you guys within the next 7 days. But it was here that on Saturday afternoon's main event, that I, the Phenomenal One.
I, the Peeps Nate.
I, Mr. 4-1.
Of course, where we came.
We saw.
We counted.
And in the words of the great Paul Heyman, not only did we conquer, that's it.
I always forget that there's more you say. I have to remember that.
It's cool, man. You're good.
I effed up.
It's all right. But ladies and gentlemen,
don't worry, we'll be on Botchamania next week.
Exactly. It happened.
That's right, bro.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we conquered. See you next week for episode 5. It's the Phenomenal One. It's the Peeps Nate, and it's Mr. 411. Peace, love, and farewell.
Bye, guys.
Yo, somebody start doing the Kenny Omega. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Oh, that's who I think is going to appear. I think Kenny Omega is going to come back at the end. I think we're going to get him.
Nice.
Wins.
It took me saying that for him to think that. Great. Amazing.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. But like I said, goodbye and good night. Bang.